So let's talk about the keys to planning and maintaining a membership. And to get started talking about that, let's just define what a membership is. And we're going to do this first from the buyer perspective. Typically, when you talk about a membership, traditionally understood, the buyer is making a recurring payment of some kind. And typically, we're talking about a monthly payment. That's the common form of a membership. In some cases, the buyer might pay annually, and that's probably a higher ticket product. But if you think about it, whatever you're delivering to people on a monthly basis, you can actually give other people the opportunity to pay annually because that's the way some people prefer to pay for things. And in some cases, you may even want to go and say, I'm going to give you a one-time payment, and maybe it's going to be slightly more than annual. And you're willing to take that payment and you're willing to take that payment in advance. We'll talk about that a little bit here in this session. But if you're willing to take a payment up front for work that you've yet to do, then that's a way of being able to have a membership. Basically, a membership means that a customer is going to have a login and password. So it's going to be a place where they're going to go and get what it is that you have. And the value is going to be clear to them every time that they log in. So whether you're delivering this membership monthly, whatever they pay up front, the way that you're going to interact with people, they've got to be able to see that the value is there on a continual basis. That's your job when you have monthly members. And they've got to see the value relative to the price they're paying. They've got to see the value in terms of the worth. So in other words, even though they might be willing to pay, there's going to be time that you're going to spend, and they've got to feel like, okay, this is worth my time going into the member area. It's worth my time interacting with the people that are running the membership. And so you got to make it worth it in terms of the time they spend. And then one thing that you can do, if you can keep this as a mindset, that you want to make it worth their time increasingly more over time. So in other words, the value of what you're providing should increase over time. That's a hard thing to do, but it's a thing that you should shoot for. It's a thing that if you try to do, you'll be able to accomplish it. But if you don't try to do it, you will maintain, and then you'll never get the customer to understand that what you're doing is giving them something that's giving them more value and is increasing in value as they go along. And then you got to surprise them. And so in other words, some of what you're going to do, and we'll talk about this in the session, is you've got to be willing to give people something that you didn't tell them they were going to get. So every so often, and if you are operating on a quarterly basis, people are making a quarterly payment once a quarter, you should have something that they get that they didn't know they were going to get. And this is, again, it's not hard to do when you're doing information. It's a little harder when you're delivering more than information. But if you're delivering something other than an information-based membership, one thing that you can add, obviously, is going to be more information. You can do a training that you were not going to, you had not promised them you're going to get. And again, we'll get into that as we get deeper into this session. And there ought to be some VIP perks. If you've got anything that you're selling, then one of the VIP perks is that anything that you're selling and that is not part of that membership, you need to give your members the opportunity to get it at a discount. And preferably, I think you should be doing that at a deep discount. That should be one of the VIP perks. And anything else that you can give that somebody else is paying for, you should be able to give some people something or give your members a deep discount. And that should just be the way you operate. It should be a privilege to be part of your membership. People ought to feel like, okay, I'm a little higher than everybody else. I get things that are a little more than everybody else. And that's something that you should operate under. For you as a seller, you're getting recurring income. And even if you're doing this annually, and it's a little trickier annually, but you're basically going to be able to say that at a particular time of the month, you're going to have a certain amount of your income that's going to be coming in. And it's not going to be based on something that you go out and sell. And that's going to be particularly on a monthly basis. Annually, this can happen. And again, when you do this annually, you're going to have to do more so that people understand when that annual payment is coming. They've got to be able to see the worth, and they've got to really feel like they're going to be getting something the next year that they didn't get maybe the previous year while they had the membership. Anytime that you have a one-time payment then or a fixed period, then of course the marketing starts again, but basically your marketing is over as long as people understand that you're really giving them the value that you said you're going to give them and you're delivering on what you said you promised that you were going to do. So when people pay you a one-time payment, typically they're paying in advance. So you're going to have to deliver on some things, and you got to communicate that I've delivered it. So part of that's going to be your job in running a membership. You've got to have a members area, and that members area sometimes is going to be content's going to drip out. So it's not going to all come out at one time. The members area needs some maintenance. So on a regular basis, typically you're not going to ever have a members area that's going to be set and forget. And this has nothing to do with the software. You're going to have to manage it. You're going to need to manage it so that people can easily go and find what it is they're looking for. And if they can't do that, then you got to communicate with them to let them know what they have. A membership has got to be something that's got to be easy for you to deliver. So we'll talk about a USP in a minute, but it should be easy for you to deliver, even if it's not easy for other people. So your membership ought to be different from others, and it should be something that you can do that other people cannot do on a regular basis. You've got to be able to deliver it for a specific price. You've got to make it worth their while. And one thing that you got to do is there's got to be a decreasing direct time element over time. And you got to have also the opportunity, you got to have the time in your schedule to give people what they are paying for as part of the membership. So you got to have excess capacity. So if you're adding on a membership to your existing business, you got to make sure that you've got the ability to give to the members. So typically what you want to have is you want to make sure that your members are probably getting something you're already producing that other people are paying for, so that you have that excess capacity to give to your members. And so you also want to have an element where you're going to give some personal attention. And typically this might come in the form of people being able to set up a time to meet with you. It doesn't have to be an hour or 2 hours, but it does need to be a little bit of time. Or what's very popular right now, one thing you can do is you can give your members the opportunity to email you unlimited. And so there is no limit on the number of emails that people can send you, and you can then give them help with strategy. You can give them help with whatever it is that your membership is producing. So a membership can have different elements. The most important thing is that you got to have the excess capacity in your schedule and in your energy in order to give to the people. And so typically, again, you do that by giving your members something that you're already producing. A membership's about more than a platform. So don't think that the membership is going to be your membership software or your course platform. It's more than that. And quite honestly, the membership platform is incidental to the process. The platform delivery is going to be important. It is not the membership. And that is the most important aspect of understanding how to deliver membership. You can do a cloud-based membership. You can do it on WordPress if that's your preference. You can do it with HTML pages if you understand HTML. You don't have to have cloud-based or WordPress. So those are not the only way to deliver membership. Some people deliver a membership by email only. So however you do it, you just got to make sure it's something that you can deliver consistently. There are some people, one person that I know of in particular, his name is Ben Settle. He delivers a physical newsletter once a month. So it's another way of doing and giving people something on a monthly basis, on a regular basis that they're paying for. You can deliver a physical product to people. There are some memberships that operate under sending people a CD or DVD once a month. It's a little trickier, but people are paying a little bit more for this, and they appreciate getting this in the mail. And quite honestly, and I don't want to spend a whole lot of time, I don't want to rest here, but if you can get something physical into the hands of your buyers on a regular basis, I want you to understand something. There's something psychological about the fact that you're in their home with them. So you've put something physical in their home. It's a reminder of the value. And it works in a way that digital products do not work. So it's harder to do. It's more expensive to do. There are all kinds of pitfalls. But if you can get a physical product into people's hands that they're paying for on a monthly basis, then you've done more than a digital marketer could ever do. And you're more likely to hang on to that customer over time. And it's more likely that people are going to see the value and what it is they're buying. Now, there is such a thing as a subscription box. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. You can look it up on Google or your favorite search engine when you're off of this training. Dollar Shave Club, HelloFresh, their clothing, subscription boxes, all kinds of things that people will send to you in a box for your monthly payment. And it's another way of delivering value. It's another way of delivering a physical product to people that they're paying for on a monthly basis. You can give access to use of some kind of software, whether you white label the software or whether you have created the software or you had it created, you're giving people a monthly basis. It's a membership. And so again, it's just a way of providing value, giving people a login and password to something that's going to be particular to them that they're paying for on a monthly basis. And basically what you're doing with a membership is you're meeting a demand and need to deliver something on a regular basis. If you think about Dollar Shave Club, it's a consumable. So people who shave, they need to shave continually. And so they're going to continue to require these razors. And these razors are going to be sent on a regular basis. And so they've got a pretty good chance of being able to make that sale every month as long as people like the product. And you got to think about things in the very same way. And you also do have to think about price and profit. At the right now, and it's probably not as much now, but if you think about sites like Netflix, there's always a way to deliver something on a regular basis that people really value. And as long as you understand how to do it profitably, then you are going to be able to make that sale every month. Streaming companies are now trying to undertake this. They're trying to figure out the profit area. And a lot of these streaming companies are not necessarily all profitable because they're spending so much on the content they've got to deliver, but they do have something that people want on a monthly basis and stay subscribed. So again, it's a balance. And so you got to understand your customer, you got to understand how to deliver it. And you've got to really start looking at companies like Disney Plus and Netflix, depending on where you live in the world. How are they delivering the value on a regular basis? That doesn't mean that's going to be how you're going to deliver value, but you've got to watch these companies and how they make the adjustment, because in some cases, you can make some of those same adjustments to understand your customer better. The USP of your membership matters. So yes, the platform matters, but it's really going to be the USP. When you put together a membership, it's all about where you're positioned in the market. And so you got to ask yourself, what matters most to your customer base? What are you selling that matters most to them? What are you offering right now that other people are not offering? That's what you've got to be in the marketplace. What can you sustainably offer? So yes, you can offer a lot of things that maybe other people cannot offer, but can you do it continually, month after month, year after year? Do you have the capacity? Do you have to spend every dime you have in order to deliver this? So what's important is that you can deliver it sustainably. Again, we're talking about a membership. Do you need to create an aspect of your membership that you don't already have? So in other words, you might have to go out and you might have to create something. You might have to figure out something to add to your membership. Again, the USP matters, because if, let's say that you're delivering instruction on how to be a Facebook marketer, well, I can go and get that any place. What can you deliver as part of your how to be a Facebook marketer that other groups do not have? What can you deliver on a regular basis? So as you think about this, think about things that you can deliver to a specific client base, a specific customer base that other people are not offering that you can offer on a regular basis. This is a case where you might have to lead the market. Now, it's been said that you let other people go first and you kind of go behind and you figure out what other people are already selling. But this may be a case where you might have to go where you think the market is going, and you might have to provide something that other people are not providing. And the market may not have already shown you that that's what needs to be provided. You might have to go there first. You might have to test that in the marketplace first. And so this is where you're going to lead. And not every case is going to be the case where you already see it. You're going to see the keywords. You're going to see people already buying it. You're going to see that doesn't always happen when you develop a USP that other people do not have and cannot deliver. So, and this is not a contradiction in what I'm saying. Yes, on the one hand, you've got to be able to deliver it sustainably, and you've got to know you can deliver it. On the other hand, though, you're going to have to go to some areas. You're going to have to figure out some things before you know it's going to take hold. And so there's a balance here. You do have to have a USP. That's the most important thing to understand. It's got to be different. There's got to be something about you offering in your membership. If you want for me to stay on a regular basis, what is it? What is it that you have that I can't get elsewhere? And you got to build up the value in order to make that sale. And so you got to establish the value in the mind of your prospect. It might take some time. And you're going to make the sale typically in a membership based on your previous relationship. You do have to understand that some people will buy into a membership as soon as they meet you, not many. You typically will make the sale based on some kind of previous purchase. That's more likely to last than some of the other ways. So in other words, somebody purchased something from you, they see the value in what you offer, and then they're willing to go that next step with you. And so typically that's the way you're going to get most of your members, especially in information marketing. And some cases, you might get people to buy something into a membership based on a funnel purchase. This is going to be difficult for you to maintain because people typically buy something in a funnel based on the price, based on the fact that they see the value and they're just meeting you. They don't really know you. They're going to get into the membership kind of sight unseen. They're going to say, you know what, I kind of thought this was what I knew what it was, and I didn't really know what it was. But when you get somebody who knows what they're getting, and then they make a decision, then you're more likely to develop a relationship with that person in the course of your membership, where they're going to stay with you. And so really, unless you've done a real good job of building up the value to the product before somebody gets it in the funnel, they're unlikely to stay with you a long period of time. And so you've basically got to always be building up the value before the sale. So if you're going to launch any kind of recurring fee product, you need to be doing some kind of educational pre-launch. Before we get to that, I do want to talk about the high ticket angle to a membership, because that's kind of an important part to understanding what you're building up. And selling a high ticket product is basically all of your monthly payments times 12. So if you can get a monthly payment, there are going to be some people who are willing to make that same payment that you're making monthly and make it up front. Sometimes you're willing to make it for what you've gotten in the past. Let's talk about that for a minute. There's always a trade-off if somebody pays you up front a large amount rather than monthly. And so the trade-off is you're on the hook. So that means then that basically I've now paid you for 12 months in the future, and I expect that you're going to now deliver for the next 12 months. That's what's in my mind. That's what I bought. And so if you are really very disciplined and you're going to be able to deliver that, then that's not going to be a problem. In some cases, for some people, they need that. You might be the kind of person that really needs that discipline of having people to make that payment up front so that you will do what you have to do to deliver it. And so there's nothing wrong with that. One way that you can avoid this conundrum is to provide a bundle. Basically, when people give you that upfront payment, they're basically buying something that you did already. So they're not buying what they're going to get in the future per se. They've already gotten the value based on what you delivered them of something that you've already created. The bonus to them is that they're going to get more upfront for the next calendar year, but you've really delivered to them a set of things that if they were to quit and you were to stop tomorrow, that they've already gotten the value for that payment upfront. And so again, it is a way of being able to, and Sean Souza of Psychotactics says this, it's a way of being able to fund some of the things you want to do. So in other words, if what you want to do is you want to buy some kind of software, sometimes what you want to do is you want to pre-sell some of these memberships. And so in order to give people the value of what they're doing in that payment, make sure you've got some bundle that you can give people that already gives them the value of what they paid. You're also going to give them the privilege of getting access to whatever your membership is up front. And that's going to give you the opportunity to make a very good offer to somebody when you go this high ticket angle. But when you do this, don't communicate the wrong people to people that are already buying from you. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to price this so that the people that are already your members, they kind of perceive that they got a bad deal. Well, say, well, I should have taken that deal. You don't want people to feel like that. So you've got to make sure you structure the offer so that the people that are paying you monthly, they're still getting the best deal. And the people that are going to take this one-time deal you got to make sure that it's not structured so that they're getting a better deal than the people that are paying you monthly. So again, all of this does take some thought to do, but it's worth your time to think about, especially if you want to fund, let's say, the purchase of some kind of new membership software, or you want to fund some kind of SaaS in order to give your members some value. You can pre-sell, and you can do that just making sure you understand the pricing. I said I wanted to talk a little bit about educational marketing and educational pre-selling. I want to talk about the pre-launch. You need to be under the impression, you got to understand what the customer is really feeling. So whoever's in your membership, you got to understand their problems extremely well. And so what you're trying to do when you're building up is you've got to build up how you're going to solve that problem. You've got to demonstrate during your launch that you understand what the real problem is. What problem do they really want to solve? Because that's what you're structuring your membership in order to solve. What you're talking about during your pre-launch or during your build-up or during your training, however you're selling it, you are telling people how your product addresses their main problem. That's what an educational pre-launch does. You're educating them on the problem they have. You're telling them basically, what's going to happen if they continue to let the problem go, how it can get worse. And you're also going to teach them how they need to address it. And the solution is obviously going to be your membership. And so you can do this over days. You can do this over weeks. If you're working with affiliates, probably you're going to be doing it in a particular period of time. But you're going to have to use some kind of system that basically, when these people are coming into your marketing funnel, you are basically going to be educating them for a period of time. And if they're sent by affiliates, you want to make sure the affiliates are given credit. So if you do it during a launch, or if you have the affiliate send you traffic before the launch, however you do it, you want to make sure that these people are coming to your marketing funnel, they're getting educated, they understand the problem, they understand the solution, and they're making a payment. Some people do this all in one shot by doing a webinar, and you can do that. You might take longer to educate people. There's no one size fits all. If you just want to do an educational webinar and you want to have people you want to have your affiliates send people to that webinar, and at that webinar, you make a pitch based on the education, that is a way to do it. In fact, that's the industry standard. However, you don't have to do it that way. You can educate people over the course of days. You can still have affiliates send you the traffic. And then basically those affiliates are still credited. They're still cookied. You're just going to educate people over the course of days versus at one webinar. So however you get the traffic, and if you want to have affiliates send you traffic, or if you just want to get the traffic yourself, what you're doing in an educational pre-launch is you're talking about the problem, you're talking about how your membership solves that problem, and you're talking about what's going to happen if they continue on in that problem and it gets worse. Okay, let's talk about making the sale. And there are some elements of direct response. You got to make sure that the offer you make is unique. We've talked about that. And when you look at your offer, you need to take a step back from your offer. And you need to look at it and you need to say, does this look like anything else that anybody is offering? And the tendency might be in your mind, you want to make sure that your offer has, yes, it incorporates the things that other people are offering at minimum, but at the same time, though, your offer should not look like others. And so don't feel like if you're looking at other people's offer, you got to make sure that it looks like, I don't know, Russell Brunson's or anyone like that. No, what you got to do, it's got to be unique. It's got to cover, it's got to solve the problem, and it's got to solve it uniquely in a way that other people cannot solve it. Now, a lot of this is going to be done by default when you do this in a funnel. Basically, here's the question. How do you overcome people's reticence, right, for making a recurring payment? One thing you got to do is you got to be careful about doing this on the basis of a discount. In other words, hurry up and sign up because the price is going to go up. If you're doing a monthly payment, you probably don't want to do that. Because as soon as people understand that, well, yeah, I bought this because it was cheap, they can leave because there's something cheap. And so that's the wrong way to build up trust and value with people. We build up trust and value with people basically organically. When you can use testimonials, use them. But basically, you just got to make sure that the value is more than the payment. And for some people, that's going to take time for them to see. And for other people, they're going to see it right away. As much as you can, make it quantifiable. And you can do that so that the dollar amount that you're paying is less than they pay otherwise. So in other words, you're delivering some stuff that they're getting, but if they were to go out and pay for it, they're getting it for less, right? That's one easy way to be able to do that. You should certainly have that. And you want to make this limited as you can in terms of dollars and cents if possible, right? But never, 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 never compete with your membership solely on the basis of price. Somebody can always outprice you. So don't do it solely on the basis of price. Anybody can come in after you and offer cheaper. So always build up the value. Always make it worth it with your effort. Always make it worth it with a personal touch. So again, the sale is important. The sale that you make, if you make the sale right up front, the people that come will understand the value as time goes on. And these are going to be people that with whom you're going to have the right kind of relationship over time. Let's talk about producing for the membership. When the membership is sold, you've got to be ahead on production. And this is hard to do, but you do need to do it. And I like to say you like to have 90 days ahead. So if you deliver something on a monthly basis, then you want to have 3 months ahead already done, right? Already completed. So there's no doubt that for the next 3 months, you're going to be able to deliver on what you've promised. And if you can move faster than 90 days, then move faster than 90 days. I'm talking about production right now. Please do not start a membership if you don't have 90 days. This is an ideal. It's a goal. So if you're thinking about you're launching a membership next week and you're not 90 days ahead, don't not start it. What I am saying to you right now is that work as hard as you can to get up to the point where you were 90 days ahead. Don't not start a membership. If you've got a launch set for 3 weeks, launch your membership in 3 weeks. But as much as you can, as soon as you can, be ready to deliver on 90 days worth of production inside your membership. You need a production schedule. So you're going to have to put together something where your schedule revolves around delivering for that membership. You can combine it with what you're launching outside the membership. That's a good way to do it also. And, if you have outsourcers or assistants, you've got to line them up so that their schedule helps you to meet this goal. So you got to be talking to your outsourcers. If you have people who assist you, if you have suppliers, let's say that what you're providing, you've got people that are doing graphics for you, you got to talk to them. And you got to make sure that whatever they're providing you, they're not going to miss any dates. And so even if you've got to line up their dates so that, they're way ahead. So there's no way that even if they're late delivering you on something, that you're not going to miss a date. So again, your suppliers, your outsourcers, your assistants, they all got to know what you're trying to do, and you can't have them. You cannot miss dates because of something on their end going wrong. So your members don't care. So just so you'll know, they don't care that, your graphics person was not able to deliver or they had a death in their family and they couldn't do it. They don't care about that, and nor should they. So, and you shouldn't, and you shouldn't tell them about it. So basically, you just got to make sure you're talking to people who are helping you to put stuff together in terms of production up front. Let's talk about delivering on the membership. Delivery's got to be private. So in other words, nobody should be able to go and get what's in your membership. So please don't leave it open. So if, whatever you got to do, even if you've got a password protected with a basic WordPress password protection, please at minimum do that. But it should be access controlled by a login and password. If you're going to do WordPress, you got to make sure that, people who are going to be in that user group in WordPress, that they're also on an autoresponder. So you can't trust your membership autoresponder. You got to have them on an autoresponder. And so basically, what you've got to do is you've got to be able to differentiate between the people that are coming, for the very first time and the people who are getting that content on a drip. Now, basically, people who are getting first month's content, let's say that they decide not to go on, there are certain settings that you can make so that the people will get that content, they can keep it, or they can get what they paid for, they can keep it. In some cases, you might set up the membership so that they can. However you do it, you just got to communicate up front what you're going to deliver. So people understand that, well, hey, if I stop making payment, am I not going to get this stuff? You got to just be able to state up front, well, no, you're not. If you close out on the membership, again, either way is fine. You just got to communicate it up front. Very important here. Your membership it's got to communicate with your shopping cart. Please do not do this manually. In some cases, there's no way around this. Sometimes when you're making the transition between one method of doing a shopping cart and another method of doing a shopping cart, you might have a case where it's a bit of a manual process, but if at all possible, move people to the system where if they stop paying, they're locked out of your system, right? So try to do that. Let's talk about maintaining the membership. You should be selling basically what you're delivering at about 50 to 60% capacity. So never go and give to your membership to the point where it's at 100% of what you're able to deliver. So in other words, everything you're doing, you're putting into the membership. All you got to do, you've got to make sure that you do more than what you said, right? So whatever your capacity level is, and that you surprise people with good things. So even if you deliver less than what you might be comfortable with, deliver more than you said, surprise people with good things, build trust over time. Also, make it a hard decision for people to drop their membership. So you got to make it as hard as you can by giving people good things that you know they're going to need. And so if you ever start getting bored yourself with the membership, then you got to liven it up and bring in some guests and some interviews and some people that can give you your level of excitement back. You guys got to also share success stories of people that are inside the membership, and then also just train people. One thing you can do on a regular basis is teach people inside the membership from your own perspective. Just do a training. If you can do it weekly, do it weekly. At minimum, you should be doing monthly training for the people inside your membership. And this is really important. The people that are inside there, you got to communicate with them on a regular basis. And if you built the relationship before they signed up by emailing daily, you got to still continue to email them daily. And some people believe that, that they just send their monthly members or their membership members the same email that they send their regular customers. Other people believe that they change the message up a little bit, right? Or they send one particularly tailored to the members. So it doesn't matter which one you choose to do, just long as you're doing it daily, as long as you're maintaining regular contact, either way is going to work. Either way is going to be good as long as you keep it up on a daily basis or however long it is that you tend to, however often you tend to email. What you're doing in that email is you're communicating the value that they already have. So people have to understand what they have, and you got to communicate that to them on a regular basis. So even if you put people in a series when they first join, when they come out of that series, part of what you're doing on an everyday basis is you're telling people what they have available to them and how they can make the most of it, right? So that's your job. Even though so you have someone who's paying you monthly, and theoretically you don't have to have them buy new things. But what you can do though is you've got to get them to use what they have and see the value in it. And that's your marketing. So you're marketing to people who you've already sold to, and basically what your marketing is, hey, you got some real value here. Here's how you make the most of it. Because if you do a good job at that, then you're going to keep a monthly member. And so if you really believe in what you're delivering to people, then all you really got to do is help people to see what it is they have. I do want to talk a little bit about affiliate marketing because this comes up when it comes to membership. I don't think you should be sending people off to a lot of affiliate offers, and especially another membership. That's just it's not a good practice, and you certainly shouldn't be doing it without thinking. It's really got to be in their best interest for you to send them off to a membership. Before you do an affiliate promotion, look at the funnel you're sending people to. If there's going to be a membership at the end of that funnel, you got to think twice about whether or not you're going to send people there. And then maybe what you can do is you can bring people in and you can bring them into on a call to have you promote something that they have. You need to have control over the process. If you've got monthly members that you are training and that you're teaching and that you're helping, see, it's really not going to be a case where you need to push people into another membership. It does not make sense, and it's not good business. And again, no, it's not a scarcity mentality. I've heard that before. Well, you've got a scarcity mentality. If you're scared to send people to another membership, that's not the case here. When you take on a monthly member, you're taking on a little bit of responsibility for some success. You're not just selling stuff. It's different from a customer. When you sell a customer a product, to some degree, you're basically saying to that customer, hey, here's an introduction to me. And what you really need to do is you need to be with me monthly. You're really seeking out that monthly member. When you bring on a monthly member, you're taking on a little bit of responsibility by giving them a piece of you and a piece of what you produce in order to get them success. And by sending people off to another affiliate marketer, even if you're going to make a lot of money, it's incongruous. So don't be quick to do that. In some cases, it makes sense. You've got a partner, they promoted you. You might want to do what's called reciprocation in some cases. It makes sense to do that, but in other cases, it may not make sense. What you want to do is you want to have control over the process. And that's really more authoritative anyway. And you've got to make sure that in the entire scene, in the entire process, you really do retain some authority. You really do retain what it is that you are setting out to do in your membership. And I do want to talk about closing out a membership. All good things come to an end. So there's going to be a time when you have to move on to something else or you got to close it. So let's talk about that process. And if you've got to close it out early, just make sure that whatever you promise to deliver people on, that you do it. So if you have people that paid you annually and they're paying for 12 months of something and you're month 6, produce the rest of it before you close it. So in other words, if there's 6 somethings that you got to deliver on, produce the 6 somethings before you close. So if that's going to take you an extra month before you can close, then do that. That's going to be important. It's going to be important for your reputation. That's going to be important for you to deliver on what you said. What you can also do is repackage the membership for a higher ticket price, right? You can just sell out all the stuff that you have in it. And so you're basically going to turn it into a high ticket product. And, you're going to get testimonials from your monthly members, right? That's what you're going to use in order to sell the product. What you can also do is you can take pieces of what the people have been paying for monthly. You can sell pieces of it. So you can take a particular month's content or a particular month's product that you gave people in the membership, give it a title, rebrand it, and sell it to the general public. So, you close out a membership. It does not have to be that you're just going to give a revenue stream. It can be profitable and it can help you to transition from having a monthly payment you've been getting to whatever it is that you're doing next by breaking off pieces and selling it between high ticket offers and breaking off pieces of it. And you can also just give people a membership with your current products, and you can just take people and give people the training that you have, right? Current products and current training, you can turn that into a one-time fee, a one-time membership. Now, if you're going to sell all of your content, just think about taking out the VIP perks. So in other words, somebody had a membership with you and, you're going to now close out the membership. You could say, well, nobody's ever going to know. And yeah, nobody's going to care. No, I think they do care. I think you should take out the VIP perks. So if you're going to resell something, take out the VIP stuff, right? Take it out and then sell it to the public if that's what you're going to do in closing out the membership. Okay, any questions? Any questions?